My other question is one that's also near to my heart, and it's about being gay. So I'm gay, and when people told me, Chris, you should be straight, you should act like us. But in my heart, I never felt like that. And as soon as I came out and started to be myself, my life never sucked anymore. It was always so good. So why, I connect with me being gay, and my source with him telling me, Chris, that's a great thing to be, like, be yourself. And I get so much joy out of that. And my life has been great since I came out because I truly accepted myself and what my inner being was telling me at all times. So why is that?
Well, what this wonderful example that you've offered here gives us an opportunity to talk about is that this is the subject of getting your guidance from your source or getting your guidance from the peanut gallery.
Of course.
And the peanut gallery meaning everybody with all of their opinions, and they can't possibly know what's the best thing for you to do. Their orientation, their sexual orientation is what it is, and so that's why they're in that pile. They're standing in that pile not knowing anything else because that's what they feel. They don't understand what you feel. So if you're listening to somebody that's in a different pile, you're going to get a lot of different information. There are people that are 9 feet tall that really feel bad for you that you're not. And there's a whole cluster of little people that wonder why you would be so tall. And while those seem like silly analogies, there are people who are so determined in their insecurity because they're not under the influence of source. They cluster together in their samenesses, and then they criticize anyone else who is not the same as them. It makes for a pretty contemptuous world, doesn't it? But when you are wise enough, or you might even say fortunate enough, to be under the influence of your broader perspective, and you said some really, really, really good words that we like to use too. When you're under the influence of your source, when you're seeing the world through the eyes of source, talk about coming out. Talk about being out there where you always belonged. And here's all those other people not under the influence of source saying, what's wrong with you? Well, I'm under the influence of source. They don't get it, but you do, you see. And so one day, in fact, it was really early in Esther's Abraham experience, and there was a man in Dallas, and he said to us, Abraham, why in the world would I ever, because we talked about how you come with intentionality into these bodies, why would I choose to be gay? And we said, doesn't sound like you're happy with your choice. The tone of his question was such. And he said, my mother hates me. And we said, how do you feel about her? And he said, I hate her too. She felt like she had a legitimate reason to pinch herself off from source energy. But now you think that she is your legitimate reason to pinch yourself off from source energy, when there's no legitimate reason to pinch yourself off from source energy. And the fact that anybody is pinching themselves off from source energy is really the subject, isn't it?
When I, came out, it seemed like when I listened to the people, they all hated me. But when I quit doing that, they all loved me.
Well, here's the thing that you're helping us to say for the first time ever, relative to this subject of sexual orientation. When you understand all of the categories that you could be categorized into, or that you would categorize yourself or others into, or that they would categorize themselves or you into, when you understand that in relationship to either being under the influence of source or not, and you let your emphasis be about being under the influence of source, then you never again feel like you need to explain to anyone whether you're in the gay pile or the straight pile. or whether you're in the sometimes I stutter pile and sometimes I don't stutter pile. It doesn't matter. The only thing that is relevant is, and did you notice, because every time we offer this analogy, we are very specific in the energy that we offer to Esther, so that she takes her time and finds these words. In this moment. In this moment, I'm under the influence of source, or in this moment, I'm not under the influence of source, because everyone who is in a physical body is going to be some of both. We just want you to know the difference, and to know what the difference will mean in terms of manifestation, to know what the difference will mean in terms of the way you feel. We'll know what the difference means in terms of the way people will be drawn to you or not drawn to you. This world that you were born into, you did not say, I would like to be born into this popularity contest, and I would like to win the popularity contest by being in the most possible piles of appreciation. I want to stand in a place where most people will look at me and say, yay, we like you, come be in our pile with us. None of you said that. What all of you said was, I'm going to be tuned into source energy, and I'm going to enjoy each and every pile. From all of these piles of diversity, there will be things that I'm wanting to participate in and things that I'm not wanting to participate in, but I'm no longer going to be one who feels a need, a protective need to push against any of those other piles. And so, even though we know that you are mostly tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you still feel the need to explain. The need to explain that at one time something happened and that it seemed to cause this, and that then you may have overcompensated by learning all of these languages. And you didn't overcompensate by learning languages. You learned languages because you like to communicate. And there isn't anything that you need to explain to anybody, and the people that you think you need to explain it to the most aren't going to get you when you explain it, so why bother?
Facts.
And so when someone talks about coming out, we say out of the confusion into the clarity, out of the hatred into the love, out of the struggle into the ease. That's what you're out in.
I got my answers for those two. So all I can say now is I'm on my way.
And always will be.
Always will be.
And always will be. That's a really important thing to understand. I'm on my way. Are you ever going to get there? Hopefully not. I'm an eternal being. I'm always going to be on my way. I'm on my way, and I'm having a real good time. That's what you said to us. That's what your words were. I drove 2,000 miles and I loved every moment of it. Well, you were on your way through a lot of that. You were on your way. You weren't where you were going through most of it.
And now I'm in the hot seat.
Enough?
Enough. Thank you.
Really good. Really good. Really good. We're having a very good day, aren't we?